Welcome to Find Your Strong, the podcast that's here to help you free yourself from food rules, fitness guilt, and those weird detox teas.
Oh, do not get me started, Ella.
All right, I won't. I'm Ella, nutritionist and intuitive eating counselor.
And I'm Christine, personal trainer, intuitive eating counselor, and your hype woman for joyful movement.
You are, woohoo! Together we talk to experts, share stories, and hopefully leave you feeling a bit more at home in your body.
So if you're ready, let's find your strong. Hello, Ella. How are you?
Hello, Christine. I'm very well. How are you?
This is the 1st January we're back, isn't it? Not the 1st January we're back. That's bad use of English.
You're talking to a German. I wouldn't have noticed.
This is the first session we're back. The first podcast we're back after Christmas, apart, like solo, together, you and me. Yes.
True.
Obviously, we had the amazing Sophie from ED Informed last week. That episode's doing brilliantly. So if you haven't had
such a good
chance,
conversation.
go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
How is January treating you?
So far, so good. I'm counting the days. Usually I find January drags a bit, just like September. There's something about those 2 months that they seem to be going on for bloody ever. But yeah, so far, so good. I'm getting back in the swing of things. I was just saying off mic, I was just finished my somatic trauma integration course, which I absolutely adored. I really enjoy going to my gym, which has a sauna, which is beautiful in this shitty weather to go in, and a plunge pool. So just enjoying it. Yeah, so far so good. How about you?
That's exciting. And are you noticing you're bringing in any techniques, like somatic techniques, when you're feeling stressed or when you're feeling anxious?
Yes, yeah. And it's becoming a little bit more automatic, which I find very interesting because I used to be one of those stereotypical, from the head up, my body, I have no idea what's going on. And through my work and intuitive eating, obviously, and now this course, I notice a lot more, and I notice that, grounding, breath work, all of those very simple things and very simple techniques makes such a massive difference to my mental health as well as my physical health. So yeah, I'm all over it at the moment.
I mean, I'm buying into all of that. I sort of even like hand on the chest. That to me is just like, just take a second and remind myself to sort of take a deep breath. Stephanie Michelle basically saved me on a flight. Did I already talk about this? She has an episode on flight anxiety.
Oh, wow.
And she's obviously a somatic experiencing practitioner. And it was all about what to do if you're in mid turbulence and you're terrified.
Wow.
And it was just amazing. I mean, it didn't take the anxiety away, but I dealt with it a lot better and a lot more calmly.
I think this is what it's about. It's not about, we need to like fix it and not be anxious anymore. It's about how do we deal with it and, what do we do in the moment?
Absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah, and I've just finished my inclusive kettlebell course with Damali Fraser.
Well
so that was
done.
6 months of kettlebell training.
Wow.
And it was like no other kettlebell training because she is an inclusive coach and a Jedi Fit Pro. So it's all about justice, equality, or equity, and diversity and inclusion. So that's kind of stuff that I really stand for. And I don't want to just pay lip service to. So it was fantastic course. So check it out if you're a Fit Pro and want to.
Yeah. And you will be able to use all of that with your clients, I assume.
100%. 100%. And she's also an amazing kettlebell coach. So,
yeah.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about those things. We're here to talk about the menopause.
Yay!
Which neither of us are in yet.
Of course
we are in, well, we're not yet.
No, we're not in the menopause. We're in the perimenopause. We're both 50 this year, aren't we? May I say that? So we're right bang in the middle of it.
I know, 50. I'm getting used to it.
It's great.
Used to it. It's all right.
How lucky are we that we made it to almost 50?
I know, but isn't it the weirdest thing that people, when we were young, you used to go, oh, you don't feel like 50 on the inside. And it's true. You're like,
so
what?
True.
Well, how am I 50? What the heck?
I know.
I know. Not. I thought I'd be wise and like feel like all together, but not at all. But yeah, so menopause. You're getting quite annoyed by nutribullox, menopause nutribullox, and obviously I'm getting quite annoyed with the fitness industry in general for lots of things, but especially they're jumping on the bandwagon and trying to sell everybody menopause fitness programs.
Yeah,
as opposed to just
a fitness
programs. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what is your bugbear, Ella?
Oh, there's lots of bugbears. I think I just want to preface this by saying that I am so, so glad that perimenopause, menopause are topics that people talk about now, that it's out there, that even men are actually noticing, oh, there's something going on there. Thank you for letting us know. And I think it's brilliant. All the trailblazers that put it in the public eye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think it's fantastic. I think what I struggle with is the instant monetization of the topic. And I am not talking about people like the menopause dietitian or nutritionist Jen, who actually legitimately use evidence-based support and advice to, you know, talk to people and
Support,
support
yeah.
people through this period of time of their lives. But I'm talking about the people that come up with all sorts of bullshit and sell you potions and lotions and programs and courses to basically tell you, well, you can fix this
Hmm.
with whatever it is. So I'm thinking about all of the supplements. I'm thinking about very specific, as you said, fitness programs for the menopause, which is really just a fitness program. It's diet
Yeah.
plans for menopause, where it's really just a diet plan. It's all this kind of putting the menopause stamp on it to basically pry on people who feel quite vulnerable and feel like, oh, my body's changing. Shit, what am I going to do? And therefore are more likely to actually buy into those things. That's the kind of thing that, does that make sense? That's the kind of thing that I'm frustrated with.
And it is, so Jen Huber, Dr. Jen Huber
Mm,
actually says this about menopause is there's two peaks of body dissatisfaction. That is puberty and that is
mm,
perimenopause.
mm-hmm,
And so that's when we're feeling really quite vulnerable and we're more likely to jump if somebody says, oh, do you want to feel great and lose all your
mm-hmm,
meno-belly in inverted
mm-hmm,
commas, which,
mm-hmm,
oh, don't get me started on that. Um, and whereas, and that's why I really like Jen's approach if we're talking about somebody who really is specifically menopause
mm,
because she experienced an early menopause and really struggled and is
mm.
using her expertise to help people through non-restriction, no dieting, to try and accept their bodies and get through menopause
Yeah,
a little bit easier. That's and
yeah,
that I respect and I'm all
yeah.
for.
Mm,
But anybody that kind of goes, oh, if you want to lose your meno-belly,
mm-hmm,
here are 5 exercises that you need to add to, and the whole weighted vest all the time, and the whole eat less, move more,
mm,
just keep
mm,
moving. I mean, Davina McCall, as much as everybody loves her, is,
mm,
she is all about, oh, just, I listened to an interview with her and she's just like, just keep moving. So in menopause, you just got to keep moving or you'll put
mm.
weight on. You just can't really sit down very much and you can't. And I'm like, what the feck are we telling women?
I know, I
You're going
know.
through this really tough time where there's so many changes going on
Yeah,
biologically,
yeah,
physiologically, and
yeah,
every way.
yeah.
And you might have elderly parents, you might have who are ill, who need looking after. You may have teenage children who are going through their own stuff,
Mm-hmm,
which, which is very
mm-hmm,
normal and common.
mm-hmm.
And you're sandwiched in this where you're losing your sense of self, you feel your hot flushes all the time, you don't know what's we need support. We need people that are going to be authentic and genuine and actually out for helping you feel better, not just,
Mm.
get thinner, get
Yeah,
smaller, shrink your body. That's not what we're looking for at this stage in our life.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Exactly that. I think it all sort of leads back to diet culture, doesn't it? It leads back to, I think a lot of it has something to do with the fix it mentality. You've got a problem, I've got the solution to fix it.
Hmm.
There's not a lot of focus on accepting that this can be a very challenging phase in life for some women. Not everyone suffers, some sail through it.
Yeah, that's very
Some
true.
people have very debilitating anxiety, hot flushes, all sorts of physical symptoms. There's all sorts of this is a massive spectrum of how people experience perimenopause and menopause, right? And I disagree with this. Oh, we can fix this if only you took X, Y, and Z supplement or did that particular training or kept moving. I think accepting that, yes, it can be shit for a while and accepting that your body changes. I don't hear that narrative very often. Do you?
No, no, and I tend to only follow people that do
Mm,
promote that narrative.
yeah.
or that kind of, because this is not the time to be trying to lose that 10 pounds
No.
that because your body is changing for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fine to pursue health
Yeah.
and to get fit and get strong to support
Hmm.
yourself through this time.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Rather than,
Absolutely.
and there's certain ways of training which probably are more beneficial in terms
Hmm.
of kind of bone health, all of that, that we
Hmm.
can absolutely do at this time of life. But
Hmm.
strength training is strength. You know what I mean? If you come to me and you're not perimenopausal but want to build strength, I'll be working with you in very much the same way.
Yeah.
So it's not,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's, I'm not kind of charging extra for menopause coaching. It's just,
Exactly.
or you menopausal, you can pay my extra special VIP rate.
Yeah.
Um, so that's not how I work. I kind of want
No.
to tailor it to, but
Yeah.
just building strength is something from our 30s, early 30s is
Hmm.
important for us in terms of
Yeah.
bone health. So that's not specific to menopause. And I think all women just feel stressed no matter which way they turn.
Mm.
They should be doing anti-aging. It's a capitalist society, so anti-aging, they should be doing strength training, but not too much because they don't want to
Hmm.
get bulky. They still want to maintain that really
Hmm.
slim, extreme thin ideal that we're all being bombarded with at the
Hmm.
minute.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like a no-win. So if you see somebody going, here's a 10-week program that will, or here's a mushroom, as you're saying, I think people, you don't, there's no judgment here. You can understand why people go for it,
Oh yeah, yeah. I
don't
mean, I
you?
and I think that that's the thing that everyone has to decide for themselves. It is a very individual thing, and I can totally see how those mushroom gummies might actually work for some people. Be that the placebo effect, or be that something in there agrees with their body. Go for it. Fine, do it. But what I disagree with is that there is this kind of notion that we all have to do it. And as you just said, it's again, it's taking time and energy away from what else is going on in life because
Mm,
we're so focused on, oh, we have to stay in that smaller body that we used to have when we were 26. But you are in your late 40s, early 50s. Your body is different. I would rather people work on accepting that fact and actually understanding that that's for a reason. You're actually adding fat to your body because that's where estrogen is produced. So your body's like, all right, okay, I'll put a few extra fat cells in there so we can hold on to that shit for a bit longer.
yeah, yeah.
But that doesn't really get talked about. You have the Davina McCalls jumping up and down and saying, "Oh, do this and then you get a six pack," which
Mm.
I think is not very supportive of women. I know that there is good intention to help people and support people, but I feel like again it's just going against the natural kind of change that we are all going through. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I would say Davina did bring up the HRT topic of conversation, which I
Yeah.
thought was
And
great, very
good on
important.
her.
Very important. Maybe a bit,
Mm,
I think we went, with the pendulum swung
mm,
massively towards HRT, which I think it
mm,
will find its kind of, whatever works for you eventually,
mm,
rather than I must do this or I must. But yeah, so I'm not trying to, obviously she's done a lot of good, but
mm.
I disagree with you trying to look a certain way when your body is really going, please let me do what I am here to do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
literally function.
Yeah.
Our organs need to function a certain way. And
Yeah.
we are not, as you say, you're not 20.
No.
You've probably, if you've had kids as well, you're simply, your body is different. And
Mm,
why should we look like we're not 50?
mm,
Why should we look like we haven't had kids or that we're not, it's the biggest compliment you can offer somebody saying you don't look your age. You don't look like you've had kids. And I
mm,
find that really sad. Recently,
mm,
it started to really strike me. Oh, you wouldn't know you'd had kids. And that's kind of sad
mm.
because
Yeah.
but
My
that's,
body grew them, so
yeah,
why
exactly.
shouldn't
And
I look like I
it's,
did?
but
Mm,
exactly, why is that such a bad thing? It's this
I know.
frigging, we always have to conform and
Yeah.
look like we're not aging, look like we're not, getting any heavier, look like why?
Mm,
Why? For who?
yeah.
Who's it
Yeah.
for, Ella?
I don't know, but I just listened to a podcast that I loved with we both are massive fans of Dan Harris, and
Yes.
he interviewed a doctor, what's she called, Kerry Burnite or something like that, and she was talking about all of the narrative around aging. And I loved the reframe that she gave, which was instead of focusing on staying young and doing all of the things that we're told we need to do, like the fillers, the injections, the lips, the whatever, the workouts, the diets, whatever we are told to do, we should stay focused on staying well, and whatever that
Yeah.
entails. That doesn't just include, you know, be looking young. It's about feeling well, and whatever you can do to maybe sleep better, eat a little bit more nutritious food, move a little bit more, find connections that, fill you up, find a purpose, give. All of those things are
Yeah.
so, so important, and learn new things. That way you have a longer, she called it joy span instead of lifespan. And I love that because you can turn 98 and have a fucking miserable existence because don't like what you're doing, you hate life, or you can find all of those things that bring you joy, and age kind of doesn't really matter so much because you are finding joy in life, and you can have a longer joy span. And I love that kind of idea of focusing on that.
And I mean, I'm all for that narrative, and I love the strong narrative as well in terms of I like my body to feel strong
Mm,
and resilient and able to, so that when I'm aging, I'm still able to be as independent as I can.
yeah,
And the idea of being fragile and shrinking myself to fit is not, do you know what I mean?
no,
That really puts me off now.
yeah,
To the point if I ever do through no trying lose weight,
yeah,
I kind of go, oh, I don't like that.
no, no,
I want to make sure that my organs are getting everything they need, that my body is really functioning well and that I'm giving it everything it needs to
yeah,
support it. And
yeah,
that's easy to say when you're in a straight sized body and you're,
yeah,
white females. But
yeah,
do you know what I mean? It is definitely a privileged conversation, but
yeah.
I do think that is what are you gonna say? What is your legacy? Oh, great.
She
Your
looked 10 years
face
younger when she died.
Well,
Great.
your face looked 10 years younger, but it doesn't really. I mean, this is
No.
you look like so anybody who's had work done for whatever reason, I never judge because who knows?
Hmm.
Um, bear with me. Uh, sorry, somebody's trying to call me.
Oh,
Can't find you. There you go. Excuse me,
that's all right.
that's just what happens on my laptop. Um,
Popular.
what was I trying to say, Ella, about aging?
You weren't judging people who have
Yeah,
things done to their
yeah, so
faces, but yeah.
if you have Botox, generally you look like you've had Botox.
Hmm.
So you might look really fresh faced and your face doesn't move, but you look but a
Yeah.
normal face for a 49-year-old woman is going to move.
Yeah.
And that's because you've lived and you've smiled
Yeah.
and that's beautiful,
Exactly.
and
Exactly that.
I think you've got to make your own decisions and it really is no judgment because the freaking society we live in, I understand why you would
Hmm.
completely.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying to go the other way and
Yeah.
say I'm not going to say I'll be forever on that way, but my plan is to be forever on that way
Yeah.
where I'm
But
just
I
kind
think
of
your focus is healthy in the sense that it's for you, it's about h- building strength to support your body as it is aging, so that you are mobile for longer, that you can do things for longer, and therefore enjoy things for longer. Because if you don't have that, if you don't sort of go into that now, when you're 70, you might feel like, oh, I can't actually go on that walk because that I'm out of breath if I walk up the road, or I can't climb those stairs because my muscles won't support that. And likewise with in terms of nutrition, I think, of course, look at what you're eating and how that supports your well-being, but not in the sense of, oh, I need to lose weight, but in a what feels good and what makes me energized. Does my body need? How often do I need to eat? Feeding it in the sense of, I want it to be well so that I can live well and stay well for longer, rather than I need to eat or not eat so that I'm smaller and possibly look younger.
yeah, exactly that. So most
Mm.
people, not most people, that's completely ridiculous, but people who are struggling with with their body image are sort of
Mm,
eating probably to sway how their
mm,
bodies look rather than
mm,
feel. It is the look versus feel, isn't it?
mm.
And this is the similar thing with the somatic experiencing. It is about how do you actually feel sitting in the chair? How does it feel with your feet on the floor?
Yeah,
Can you rearrange your position so you feel a bit more comfortable
yeah,
rather than, oh, I look horrible. It's always that outside in
yeah,
rather than inside out. It's a kind of how am I actually feeling if I take a second and
totally.
close my eyes and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a very hard thing to retrain your body or your brain
Yeah, it
to
takes
do.
practice for sure,
Yeah.
for
But
sure. But it starts with a slight shift in focus and in starting to notice and becoming a little bit more aware of, what are we actually subscribing to here? What is the thing that what is our why? What is our objective? And if your objective is I want to look as young as possible for however long I can, I'm not judging that, but I'm thinking for whom is it? It's not for you. Is it for whoever's looking at you? Do you need that external validation? Who is it for? And as you said, that's I think that's the question we need to ask ourselves. Is it for ourselves? Do we, is that what we get most joy out of? If people think that we're 10 years younger than we are, if that is you, fine, go for it. But I
and
think
I
for the
think
majority of people, it probably isn't. The majority of people probably do want to feel well for as long as possible and not be ill and not be immobile. And
and I tell you what helps you appear young is being able to move.
uh-huh.
Being able to,
Oh yeah,
for those that can, to be
yeah,
able to actually move in a way, do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Be
yeah,
able to get onto the floor, to be able to get back up again. And that
100%.
makes you feel younger
Yeah,
because do you know what I mean? Because
totally.
I have a number of clients that come to me and they might be in their 40s only, which to me now is very young. And they might be going, oh, well, I'm old now. So, and I'm
Mm,
like, I do not subscribe to that narrative. I
no,
want to be doing the stuff that I want to do for as long as absolutely physically
that's it.
possible. I want to
Exactly.
be Dick Van Dyke. I don't want to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I want to be like in defiance,
yeah,
defiantly lifting weights when I'm 90 rather than
yeah, yeah,
not being able to get up.
yeah.
And that's my particular goal. But I did want to come back to you on
Mm,
nutrition and
yeah,
supplements
yes.
because I use supplements.
Mm-hmm,
I use magnesium every
mm-hmm,
night.
mm-hmm,
So use take. What's the difference? Don't know. I also have vitamin D, which
mm-hmm,
because we live in England.
mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much all that I take.
Great.
But I also use so things like flaxseed. I use lots of
Mm-hmm,
seeds and nuts and
mm-hmm,
make sure I've got all the berries and all the which in my mind helps me feel like I'm getting the nutrients that I need. Is it
mm-hmm.
okay? It's okay to take supplements, isn't it? But
Oh God, yeah.
so what is your point making that people are selling you things which are supposed to be like change or balance your hormones, for example, which is or for
Mm-hmm,
adrenal fatigue, which doesn't
mm-hmm.
exist. Is that more what you're saying, or detox your liver, or
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that. So I think magnesium is great, especially if you struggle to sleep. It might
hmm
help you to relax your nervous system and your muscles. It's brilliant. You can have it as a spray, as a gel, take it orally, whatever. Vitamin D, everyone should be taking in the Northern Hemisphere between October and April, definitely. 10
yeah,
micrograms a day minimum, definitely. So I'm all for that. I'm also not against the multivitamin,
okay.
especially, when our diet might be a little bit up and down and we don't really get the nutrients that we should be getting. But yeah, anything like that is absolutely fine. I think the thing with a lot of supplements that are being sold, especially for menopause or perimenopause, is that they're not based on evidence. I'm all over
Ah,
the evidence, and we haven't got long-term studies. So I'm giving you an example, the ashwagandha.
yes.
It's been used for thousands of years, but it's not been studied for very long. So we are now buying sachets, tablets, pills, potions, whatever, with ashwagandha in it. But what we don't know is whether it might have a long-term effect on, for example, our liver. There's now evidence showing that it can affect your liver in a negative way. But we
Wow.
don't know, well, what is the dose that makes it potentially harmful? We don't know, is it interacting with something else we're taking to make it potentially less beneficial. It's helped loads of people relieve stress, sleep better, but we haven't got long-term studies on it. Mushrooms, brilliant. I'm such a fan of the fungus on all levels.
Are you?
Yeah, I love the whole the cosmos of mushrooms in our world. And I think if we ever get eradicated, the mushroom will be like, yeah, we're still around.
Oh
I love it.
yeah, they'll
Oh
grow
yeah, they're
anywhere.
gonna be building their networks and everything. But in terms of food supplements, again, they may well work for people and they may well, I mean, it might be a placebo, but it might really have some beneficial therapeutic effect. But we haven't got long-term studies, so we're popping those mushrooms and mushroom gummies left, right, and center. But what we don't know is what is the long-term effect of that on the rest of our body. So that is the thing that I'm slightly nervous about because they may well turn out to be the best thing since sliced bread for a perimenopausal person, but what we're not hearing is, oh, if you take all of those things, there might be a bit of a danger to your liver or your kidneys or whatever part of your body. So I'm more for the evidence base. Vitamin D as an example, there is
Yes.
evidence
Hmm.
that we don't get enough. Our skin can't make it because the sun's too far away. We're probably not eating a diet rich in vitamin D. So, makes complete sense to supplement on that. And if you have certain things going on, supplementing isn't an issue. But what we don't know is the dosage of all of these
Yeah,
herbs and tinctures and you know what I mean. So I think that's
100%.
what I'm slightly nervous about.
That's really informative and very interesting.
Mm,
I was recommended to take by a friend, not a doctor, to take lion's mane because
mm,
that's supposed to be really good for
mm,
menopause, in inverted commas.
mm.
And I tell you what, I am very sensitive little soul. Um, I took it in the evening, woke up in the morning, got off the sofa, and was so dizzy I collapsed on the floor
Oh,
and had to
wow.
cancel my entire day of clients because I was
Gosh.
so dizzy and nauseous.
Wow.
And obviously,
And
for
you
some
think it was
people,
that?
oh, it was the only thing that was
Okay.
vaguely different that I'd
See?
taken, that it was the only thing. And I'd
Yeah.
taken it just before bed. And that was, yeah, it was
Yeah.
very, and it did say could cause, you
Okay.
know,
I did
um,
cause.
but, for other, so I'm saying they do have an impact. They are doing something.
Yeah. For
Um,
some people take them and nothing happens.
but what I'm saying is you have to be a
Mm,
little bit careful because they are
mm,
doing something in your brain
mm,
as in as you're saying, until they're completely tested and verified and
mm.
all of that, we have to be a little bit sort of more attentive,
Yeah.
don't would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is sort of goes into the broader thing of influencers coming up with all sorts of shit. I
Mm.
love Michael Yoa's post of calling out all of that bullshit where people say, "Oh, you have to stir your water to the left so that the enzymes." There's all sorts of nonsense, and you just look at it and you think, how can you say shit like that with such conviction and
But did you
post it?
see? So
Oh my God.
I giggled out loud. I love Dr. Joshua
Oh
Woolrich.
yes.
I just think
Yeah.
he's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
I
brilliant.
love his wit, his dry wit is just brilliant. But he was like, "Oh, look, I just did my shopping and I didn't take a video standing and reading all of the nutritional content." And
Oh,
I managed to just do my shopping and then
yeah.
leave. And it was like he's just got such a great approach to it. Food is food.
Yeah.
It is not medicine. It is not. And they might products may have. So all food has got some sort of nutrition in it.
Mm-hmm.
Certain foods are more nutrient dense than others, but no
Mm-hmm.
food is bad or good. No food is
Mm-hmm.
morally better than any other food. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really important, isn't it?
Absolutely. But that is it, if you want to sell something, that's very unsexy advice, isn't it? It's, what you're going to make out of that. I mean, as you said right at the beginning, when you when you do training with somebody, it looks pretty much the same, whether someone is perimenopausal or whether someone's in their mid 20s. If they want to do strength training, they're going to get strength training based on what works for them.
Yeah.
And as a nutrition professional, I would say the exact same thing. I think my advice to someone going through perimenopause in terms of nutrition is just eat a varied, balanced diet of a bit of everything and enjoy your food, which is
Yeah.
you can't sell that. That's like okay. And what else? There is some evidence that maybe we can add a little bit more protein to our diet when we're at this age. Always helps to add a bit more fruit and vegetables and fiber to your diet. But other than that, there isn't really any evidence that you need to completely change your diet.
And also with the protein, I think that's been
Mm,
exaggerated beyond belief. Like
mm.
protein Mars bars now, protein
Oh God.
yogurts.
Oh,
Yogurts have protein. They
again,
have
it's
protein.
making money, isn't it? You're buying a product where you don't need to buy that product.
Yeah.
It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
But
the other day there was protein soya milk,
oh God. Well,
protein, and I was like, what is going on? And it
yeah.
is, you see you're told you need more protein. So you see protein and you think, oh, I
Yeah.
better buy that. So
Yeah.
it is great marketing, isn't it?
But most of us actually get more protein than we need anyway, because there's protein in almost everything.
Exactly.
I need to just pause for a second. Is that okay? Can we pause?
Okay. Yeah. So do you think you get enough protein, Ella?
I think I do. Yes. I think we all probably get if we eat a very varied diet with a bit of everything, I think we do tend to get enough protein. I think some people who have whatever diet, where they're sort of excluding certain food groups, they may want to have a look at it. Vegetarians, vegans in particular, because the best, and I mean that in a most complete protein source, are meat, fish, eggs, foods that vegans, vegetarians might not eat.
Mm.
They need to eat a bigger variety of protein foods like tofu and pulses and beans and those kind of things. But on the whole, as a nation, as a society, um, there is evidence that we probably eat slightly more than we need. So therefore,
Ah.
we, as perimenopausal women, we're probably close to what is recommended for us. So the recommendation for I'm just going to use women here, is to have, I think it's 45, roughly 45 grams a day of protein.
Okay.
There is some evidence that it should be slightly more than that, but it's very easy to get that. And I think Jen Huber says on her website probably about a gram per body weight per day, 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight is probably a good idea.
And for those that don't know their body weight, like myself, then at 45 kilos is probably, or 45 kilos, 45 grams is probably
Yeah.
just. And what about creatine? Do you know anything about creatine?
Not specifically, no, no. I think one of the things that is quite big in the media is collagen, which is
Yes, it
also a
is. Yeah.
protein that's produced by our
What do you
bodies.
think about collagen supplements?
Oh, what do I think about collagen supplements? Again, I think for some people, they might really help. What happens when you take a good quality collagen supplement is whole collagen molecules cannot be absorbed by your body, so they need to be broken down into different parts, and they are used in your body where your body needs them. So
Wow.
if you're taking collagen to get rid of wrinkles and to improve skin elasticity, but your bones and ligaments actually really need some collagen, that's where it'll go. So
Okay.
your body uses it where it needs it. And as far as I'm aware, there is no real evidence that it does anything for your nails and your hair.
The thing is, your skin doesn't need it because it's not a health problem that you have a wrinkle.
No, this is it. The,
It's
the
not
body
a
the body
it's not
focuses
something to
on what
fix.
is the most pressing issue, and your skin is there, still
Mm.
working. It might be a bit more wrinkly, so that's not priority for your body. If there's something, if there's another bit of building works going on, then that's where the protein, the collagen will go. So, yeah, I mean, for some people it might make a slight difference to their skin. Some people swear by it. A lot of people are pissing their money down the toilet, basically. So,
Yeah. And that's really useful advice. And I think we don't need all of these supplements. I think things like vitamin D, where there's evidence behind it, and we live in a country with very little sunshine, I think fair enough.
yeah, yeah,
And, magnesium, I
mm,
swear by magnesium, whether it's
mm,
placebo or it helps me, who knows? But
yeah,
I
fine.
find it brilliant to be honest, for swelling before
Yeah,
periods. I
yeah,
find it really good.
perfect.
So, and I think it's your individual experience is also important. So
Definitely.
if you feel collagen feels good for you and your body might
Yeah,
feel like your joints might
yeah,
benefit from it,
absolutely.
then that's
Absolutely.
okay. But it's just about trying to take, if you see an advert and you're like, oh, I've got to buy that, it's just about trying to pause, isn't it? It's about, hold on, what is this person's
Mm,
agenda?
mm,
What are their qualifications? How do,
hmm
you know what I mean? Like
hmm
the glucose goddess, don't get me started
Oh
on her.
God.
And I think it's following people who are reputable, people who have had many years of training, do you know what
Yeah,
I mean? And just have a
yeah,
look at their credentials before
yeah.
you just go click add to cart. And
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe exactly that. Also look at, is that person recommending something that they're also selling?
yeah.
Because then almost by default, they're probably a little bit biased. And
Oh
they're
my God, of
probably
course they
not,
are.
yeah. So I think, go follow people that are telling you something for free, that
Ah,
have credentials, that have the, that have been educated in that particular field. Don't go to a random nutritional advisor who tells you blah, 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 and also sells you a very expensive supplement. That's a big red flag for me. Likewise, a PT that tells you, oh, 6 weeks transformation and you'll have a six pack. That's a massive red flag. So it's about,
and
are they selling you something?
mm,
Maybe a
but
little bit caution is
but
advisable.
also in terms of training your body, fitness, strength, all of
Mm,
that, there is no quick fix. I'm going to say that very
mm,
clearly now.
mm,
You kind of need to train for life.
mm-hmm,
You need to keep going with it. There's no kind
mm,
of, oh, just do it this month and then, do an 8 week challenge, and then you're
mm,
fine. Lose all the
mm,
weight and that's it forever. What
mm-hmm.
happens then? What
Yeah,
happens then?
yeah.
So it is very much, if you want to get fit and strong, if your January is like, right, 1st of January, then do it for life. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the really unsexy version.
It is. Yeah,
Really unsexy. Because
really, isn't
I'm
it?
not saying in 3 months
Yeah,
you'll be fixed. I'm saying in 3 months you'll probably feel a bit better, a bit stronger. But I
yeah,
can't quantify that and I can't guarantee you
yeah.
won't. You know what I mean? And it's less, people just want it now. They want to
Mm,
know it's gonna, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna look differently. Brilliant. Job done, fixed, done. And
mm-hmm.
it's not like that, is it, Ella?
No, no, it really isn't. It really isn't. But yeah, it is all about changing the focus slightly from, the fixing to the sustainable well-being, I think. So, yeah.
Because there's not, what is there to fix?
Exactly. Well, we shouldn't really have to fix ourselves, but there's no harm in trying to feel better, and
Yes,
you can do
yes.
whatever it takes. But really, I think I just really invite people to think about why are you doing it? What are you doing it for? What's your outcome? And be true to that. I mean, it can be whatever it is, but I would I would guess most people do want to feel well.
And you know what I've noticed about the Christmas thing?
Mm,
Most of my clients came back after Christmas, and most people take a break over Christmas because
mm,
Christmas is crazy.
mm-hmm,
Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, I'm sure you were
mm-hmm,
swept away in the craziness of it all.
mm-hmm,
But people were like, "Oh, I feel so sluggish. I feel so fat." I'm saying inverted commas there. That
mm,
everybody was like, "Oh, I feel like I haven't
mm,
exercised. I need to get back into." And it was this guilt that they'd actually taken 2 weeks, not exercised, and actually ate some really nice food.
mm-hmm,
There's this guilt around that.
mm,
And I do, but so that's one side. But in the same way, your body, if you've eaten a lot of rich food for 2 weeks and loads of chocolate and loads of like roast potatoes and Yorkshire
mm, of
puddings and all of that, your body craves a bit of vegetable. So I also
course.
had lots of clients going, I just need vegetables.
Yeah, yeah,
I need some vegetables because your body is like, oh, okay, that's great, but I need something else
yeah,
now. So your
yeah.
body is really smart.
Oh God, yeah. But isn't that nice that people notice, actually, I do really fancy a
Mm,
salad right now, because we all always think, oh, if we, all we want is chocolate or sweets or crisps or something. And that's completely wrong. That's not all we want. That's the things that we don't let ourselves have without guilt,
yeah.
and therefore feel like we're always thinking about them. But if we really tune in, I think, as you just said, your clients notice, actually, I do fancy some vegetables. I do
Mm,
need to move my body because I'm
yeah.
feeling sluggish, you know.
Yeah. And that's obviously not for everybody. So some people, if you're neurodivergent, it might
Mm.
be, some people might really struggle to actually
Hmm.
move or find that energy to move or that
Hmm.
motivation to move. So that's not the case for everybody. So
Mm.
just put that out there. And
Yeah.
if you do need help, find a trainer, find a friend, find an
Mm.
accountability person to help you with that. But
Definitely. Definitely.
I think we've solved it all now.
Oh, we always solve everything, don't we? We solve the case.
What are our nutshell points for people? What are our takeaways from today, Ella?
Oh gosh, I'm terrible with nutshells. I would say, don't believe everything you see.
Mm,
Use common sense and focus on how you feel. And also not what's your friend doing. That might not be the right thing for you. Focus on what feels good for you. And also, when you just said about feeling guilty, I think there is a little bit of that in our age group, where we feel a little bit guilty if we don't do all of the things. So you don't have to do all of the things, basically, and don't waste your money on supplements that where there's no evidence for their effectiveness. So, I mean, by all means, try things out if you're really struggling. This is the thing that wellness industry is so good at. It kind of goes to the people who struggle with something and then sells them a solution. I haven't got a problem with that per se. If you find something that works for you, great. I want you to feel good, but also sort of take it with a pinch of salt and see that, there's it's not all always all that it's cracked up to be.
and
That's
I
not a nutshell. See, this is
not
a
at
whole
all.
this is a whole bag of shelled
That was a
peanuts.
terrible attempt
Terrible.
at a
What's your
nutshell.
nutshell, Christine?
I would say my nutshell is that the most important exercise you can do in menopause is whatever movement you will keep doing.
Yes, sustainability.
Just
Mm.
literally, and to do that, mobility, train your
Mm-hmm.
joints, like move your joints,
Mm-hmm.
move, give yourself. So Tom Morrison talks about a wiggle. The
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing is to be able to keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
So keep moving so you can keep moving.
I
Find
love
what
that.
works for you.
Yeah, I love that. I do that on a Friday now at the gym. I just do mobility.
Oh, oh, I
Yeah,
love this.
I
I love
love that.
this.
People look at me a bit funny. I had last week, I just have to say this very briefly. I had two. They can't have been much older than 18 or 19. And you know how it's trendy now to wear the same color top and bottom and really
Hmm.
skin tight
Hmm.
and butt lifted and full makeup, all of it. And then they were filming each other doing the
Oh,
doing the
nice.
stuff. And then I was there on my little mat with my holy t-shirt and my my weird socks, and I was doing mobility stuff like an old person, and I felt so smug because I thought, well, I will be able to get off the floor when I'm 55. Not sure,
Good for
but
you.
so I
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I decided to do now on a Friday. I just do mobility. I just do.
So important.
Oh, it
It's
is.
so
And I
important.
got that from you because when I
Mm,
used to come to your early morning classes, you did that mobility, or the lunchtime classes, you did that. And I thought, oh God, that's for
mm.
old people. But
People
it's
struggle with
not.
it because they don't sweat and it doesn't
Uh-huh.
hurt. It's
Exactly.
hard, it's not easy, but it's more, oh, but what do we do
Yeah.
now? And it's
Yeah.
okay to spend time prioritizing your joints and your joint
A
health
hundred
because
percent. I love it. Yeah.
yeah, but oh,
So
well
thanks to
done
you.
you. Well
Thanks for
done
you.
you. So
Thanks
let
to you.
us know if you're listening at home or in the car or wherever you're listening.
Wherever on a dog
On
walk.
the dog walk. Yeah, why would you be listening at home? We
I don't
can
know.
travel now with with our phones.
Yeah.
Let us know what your go-tos are that basically make you feel a bit better.
Mm.
Maybe help with hot flashes, all of that. Give us a
Yeah.
shout and let us know what works for you. And we will be back next week with, I don't know if we've got a guest next week or if it's just us, but either way, it'll be a good
We will be
episode.
back.
We'll be back. Have a good week, everybody.
Bye.